Okay guys, I saved the best for last. Well, I saved the most complicated for last. What you're looking at right now is a trapezoid. It's probably going to be the least favorite of the formulas because, I mean, just look at it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of work. It's really not. It just looks very intimidating. So we're going to walk through this process very slowly. We're going to have a lot of time to practice this in class. So again, don't panic. Now, here's our trapezoid. And here are the formulas that you're going to find on the back of your yellow card, on the back of that mathematics chart that I gave you. Now, I've got two different formulas, but I do want you to make note that both of the formulas are exactly the same. They do the exact same thing, serve the same purpose. They just look different. So, we're going to go with the one that's easier to follow. On the back of your card, you'll see 1/2, and in parentheses B1 plus B2, and then an H. And you're also going to see in parentheses, without the 1/2, B1 plus B2 and an H, and all of that is divided by 2. Remember that bar means we are dividing by 2. So, we're going to go with this formula, not because it's any different, just because it looks a little friendlier to use. So, the B. We've seen in previous videos that B stands for the base. Now, trapezoid's a little bit different. Remember I said the base is what it sits on. It's the bottom. Well, you could flip this trapezoid either way, and it could sit on either end. It could sit here, where it says 10 yards, or it can sit there, where it says 6 yards. That's because a trapezoid has two bases, one on top and one on bottom. So, we're going to call this B1. That's base number 1. And we're going to call this base number 2, B2. So what I'm going to do now is take out those B1s and B2s. We're going to plug in some actual numbers there. So we've got B1, or base number 1, is 6 yards, plus base number 2 is 10 yards. Put that back in parentheses. Remember, order of operations says whatever's in parentheses has to be done first. And you see how that H is stuck together with all that? Of course, you remember from order of operations that means we're going to multiply. So I'm going to go ahead and put my multiplication symbol there, times H. Now, we learned in previous videos too that the height, H is the height. It tells you how high up a figure is from top to bottom or bottom to top. So, this dotted line that tells us how high it is says that this trapezoid is 8 yards high. I'm going to take all of that, I'm going to sit it on top of that 2, which is another way for saying divide all of that by 2. So, as we're reviewing our order of operations, we have to do what's inside that parentheses first. What's inside the parentheses is 6 plus 10. 6 plus 10 is 16 times 8 divided by 2. Now, order of operations also says that you have to multiply and divide in the order that you see them. I'm saying the multiplication first, it's on top, and so we're going to do the multiplication first. 16 times 8 is going to be 128 over 2, which is also another way for saying 128 divided by 2. And if you divide 128 divided by 2, you get 64. And let's not forget to notate it correctly. These units are yards, but because it's an area, it's going to be square yards. Make sure you add that little 2, the exponent up there. I know this looks very intimidating. It's a lot of writing, a lot of numbers. Do not panic. We're going to have plenty of time to practice this in class. But I do want you to make sure that you are watching this video as much as possible, so when we do start it, you are very familiar with the basis, what the B stands for, base 1 and base 2, what the H stands for, which one of these lines is going to be your height line, which is always going to be that dotted line right there on the inside of the figure. You're well rehearsed on the notations and that bar meaning division. So watch this as many times as you need to feel comfortable with it. And that way we've got less struggle when we come to class. But again, don't worry, we'll practice this in class and I'll see you then. Bye.